Hello, beautiful earth angels. Pressing go live on Instagram. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Earth Angels Unite and to podcast 111, angel numbers, surrender to divine order with Archangel Raguel. In one word, spiritual relaxation is surrender. And surrender doesn't mean to give up or throw the towel in or to bury your head in the sand. Rather, surrender is letting go with trust that the universe is benevolent and is working for your highest good. When you relax spiritually, you are making space for grace and trusting your angels have your back. When you're struggling to surrender to your higher power, work with Archangel Raguel to help you to trust divine order and the benevolence of the divine. Hello, good morning. Hi, Kate. Hi, Lauren. I was laughing because I got on. It's April Fool's Day. It's actually my brother's 43rd birthday today. He was the fool. And I looked and it said, "Oh, I'm not going live for 5 minutes." I'm like, did I make a mistake on the time? And I did. So I was like, okay, that's my first April Fool's of the day. I mean, what's 5 minutes? It doesn't matter. But it was just funny because I was like, why is it like not going live in like 2 minutes? It was, so that was cute. All right. So my intention with these podcasts is to create a space of transformation, that you come one person and you leave another person, right? Whether you're here live, whether you're connecting with the replay. And we do this by healing the pain, the issues in the tissues, the wounds, the traumas, bringing them to the light for healing, shining our heart light on it, right? Using the relax, release, receive process outlined in my book. And of course, when we gather together, we are more powerful. In these podcasts, I will be sharing teachings from my debut book, Receiving from Your Angels, 4 practices to heal your pain with angel love, and an angel activation, an oracle card to help you to relax and cherish your body, to trust your intuition, and to receive your next level of angelic pain relief. My name is Jill Kempner, angel coach and author. As an angel coach, what I help my clients do is to heal the pain in their bodies with the love of the angels through the relax, release, receive process. And really, it's about, I help my clients develop a deeper relationship with their own angels, right? I help them create a daily practice of connecting with their angels, but not just connecting with their angels, right? Connecting with their angels to heal that pain, that karma, that wound. And part of how we do that, well, we work with the energy medicine, right? Angel Reiki, IET, crystal healing. But we do that by understanding the deeper meaning of that pain, right? Why your soul said, I was talking about our soul's divine curriculum yesterday in my Oracle Monday reveal video, that you set this all up before you came. And actually that kind of goes with what we're talking about today with divine order. So when you understand the deeper meaning of your pain, that begins the dissolution and dissolving and transforming of that pain. And that's what I do, right? Because I can hear your angels and I tell you what they're saying. I teach, and more importantly, yes, I can tell you what your angels are saying. More importantly, I'm going to teach you how to hear what your angels are saying, right? That's the empowerment that I'm all about. All right. So happy April. We've just entered the second quarter of 2025. This is such a powerful year, right? Because we're in a universal 9. And what does that mean, right? 2 + 0 + 2 + 5 = 9. And 9 is the number of completion and closure. It could be also a number of integration because it's the last single digit. And it's the end, why it's so powerful, and there's so much culminating right now, personally and collectively, is that we're at the end of an epicycle, right? And next year, 2026, will be a year 1. So we'll be starting a whole new epicycle. So we're cleaning a lot of things up. in our own inner world, right? In our hearts, in our minds, in our energy bodies. And spiritual relaxation is such a powerful way to support integration and completion and letting go of a pattern, possibly closing a chapter, closing a book, closing a whole course. And then with that closure, right, we've stepped into this new beginning, right? We just had a powerful new moon, solar eclipse, right? We just finished that cycle. I think it was the 27th, so 25 through 20. Yeah, we just closed that cycle. Powerful changes, healing, transformation. And so I also want to say happy birthday to my brother. He would be 43 today. His heavenly birthday. He's on the other side. And I miss him. So let's see where we're at. I love talking about Raguel and divine order. But I know that, I talk about it with such compassion for our humanity and for the parts of us, for the struggles and the traumas that we've been through, because it can be hard to trust divine order and to surrender to divine order when we're going through something really hard, right? A storm, a trauma, PTSD. So, I really couldn't, I was like really trying to what am I going to talk about today? I mean, I have the notes. The teaching is easy. That to me is, first of all, I have a whole book, right? Just open it up and share something, which by the way, I want to remember Raguel's prayer today. But it's like on this page, what story am I going to share? And tonight I have an event, an in-person event in Riverwoods. It's a book talk with 2 other authors. So I'm really excited about this. And, I was like, what story am I going to share? What am I going to talk about? And, it's just interesting that I have a podcast today, podcast 111, Surrender to Divine Order with Archangel Raguel, on my brother's birthday. Right. And also too, it's not just my brother's birthday. It is, but it's also April Fool's Day. So there's kind of that trickster energy, right? Sort of joking trickster energy, a little bit of the fool energy, right? And something my coach said years ago, which resonated with me. She goes, soul, I'm willing to be a fool for you. And I was like, right? Because the fool is also the open-hearted, open-minded, playful, right? Risk taker, willing to just lay it all on the line. And that was very much my brother, which is just, he fit right in with the fool and the April Fool's Day. So just speaking from my heart. So what I was thinking about was my brother's traumatic car accident. So on the eve of my 40th birthday, I'm about to enter a new decade of my life, right? And in the master class that I just taught last week, I really shared my whole life journey up till 46 years old in decades. And I talked about the different pains and the different storms and initiations, right, that I went through. It was very healing. And, thinking about my life in decades, you thinking about your life in decades, and the beauty of that decade, the challenge of that decade, right? And what you learned from it, right? This is part of the 9 energy, right? Of integration and completion that we're in, right? You're in it personally, and then we're also in it collectively, right? Because it's a universal 9. You actually have your personal year might be a totally different number. I'm not getting into numerology, but you might be a 6 right now. I don't know. I actually don't know my personal year, which sounds crazy. So I need to look that up now. But we have this collective energy, right, of completion. And part of how we get to that completion is remembering what we've been through, seeing what we've been through the eyes of love, through the eyes of compassion, through the eyes of our angels, and not through judgment and negativity and resistance, which is often what our ego will do, right? Look back and cringe. And I know I'm starting to notice that, like, when do I look back and cringe? And there's still absolutely parts of my life where I look back and cringe in every decade. And I have compassion for myself around that. So I was thinking about spiritual relaxation in connection with my brother's story and that in his traumatic car accident. So when I was just about to turn 40, it was like 5 days or so before my 40th birthday, my brother was in a traumatic car accident. And, it was an extremely painful experience. I mean, first of all, worried for him and his life, worried for my mom, who felt, kind of gutturally responsible, unfairly to herself responsible, because of their codependent relationship, and just, being witness. I think one of the most challenging parts of that experience, because I had been through other really hard things that I've shared before here. I've been talking about my story in my life. I kind of realized my first book, Receiving from Your Angels, is my autobiography of the first 40 plus years, the first 40 years of my life. And that traumatic accident that my brother was in, that he survived miraculously, physically came back. Like, it was the physical healing that he received, that he experienced from, like, the trauma that his body went through, the broken bones, 8 or 9 surgeries. I mean, was like miraculous, But, he had a TBI. He had bipolar. He had bipolar before. And it was difficult, to manage the mind and the emotions when there was so much loss otherwise. And so I was thinking about spiritual relaxation, right? This energy of surrender. And that was a lot, like, the experience that I went through when he was in the hospital for 3 months, right? And he was in the ICU for 4 weeks. And I don't know if you've ever been in the ICU for 24 hours or 48 hours or 72 hours, but it's intense. It's 24-hour care. They're constantly putting out fires. There's one complication after the next. My mom and I, and I'm going to cry because it was still there, as much as I've used the tools to alchemize it, we were there living in those conditions alongside Dylan. Now, of course, Dylan was in a medicated coma, so he didn't really go through as much as we did. Of course, he did when he came out. But those 4 weeks were literally, I don't know, possibly the hardest thing I ever did in this life, next to losing my mom and my brother, which is a whole nother level of grief, right? But, fearing that someone's going to die, for 4 weeks puts, really does a number on your body, on your nervous system. Thank you, Kate. And what I feel I was learning, there was so much I was learning, because tonight I'm going to share the story. I think I'm still praying on it, but I think this is the story I'm going to share tonight because it's his birthday. I was like, well, what story am I going to share from my book? And I thought, well, I mean, it landed on his birthday, so that's probably, the right story to share. I think I was really learning spiritual relaxation because I constantly, over and over again, had to surrender control, surrender fear, surrender resistance, surrender my pain, right? The tremendous emotional pain. And actually, I was so afraid he was going to be in pain, physical pain. Like, I was so worried about his physical pain, from the broken bones and the surgery and the rhabdo and, just everything. I was like, oh my God, like, I was like, cringing. Of course, he really didn't experience much physical pain, as much as I was fearing for him. Everything was mostly mental and emotional, which is a yeah. God bless the nurses. My mom was a nurse for 30 years, but she did not do medical nursing really. I mean, she did L&D and then she did psych, right? About 15 years each. And those were in them themselves, tough. But yeah. What an amazing team he had, really. I was so impressed with Northwestern Trauma Unit and ICU. I mean, they put them back together, they really did. And so moment after moment after, and I didn't know anything about spiritual relaxation. This was in 2018. This was before I wrote my book. This was really before relax, release, receive process. Now I was connecting with the angels. I was channeling Reiki, and even angel Reiki. I was doing IET. Like, I threw the whole gamut at his healing process. And I do believe that the power of prayer, the power of this energy medicine, because I was like, okay, why am I sharing this? It's like, well, first of all, it was an experience I went through. So I know that means something. But I really, now the angels more and more and more, and I understand how this is connected with the snake energy of, we're also in the year of the wood snake. 2025 is the year of the wood snake. 2025 is its completion, like getting the pearls of wisdom, right? The pearls of wisdom from that experience. And, it was the power of prayer. I mean, it was so amazing to sit there and, there was a bunch of different things that happened in those 4 weeks. I mean, he was in the hospital for 6 months, 3 months. But the 4 weeks in the ICU is what kind of, just jacked our nervous systems. Because to be on that roller coaster of is he going to live or die for 4 weeks? Now, of course, it seems like, oh, it was only 4 weeks. But in the moment, like 720 hours, that was a lot. So I didn't know about spiritual relaxation, but now as I was reflecting on this teaching and reflecting on this medicine, that's what I was being trained in, was how to surrender to a higher power, how to did not think it was going to be so emotional. How to trust that the angels have our back, trust that the universe is benevolent, trust divine order. That's what I was being trained in. And I really had no idea of that until right now, when I'm telling you as it's coming out of my mouth. So that's pretty cool. And I knew that this had to kind of be like, so I could really get that gem and the power of energy medicine. I believed in my gifts, my medicine, the tools that I had learned more than I ever did, because moment after moment after moment, I watched miracles unfold from the different complications that he experienced along the way, alongside the kidney miracle, which I wrote about in the book, that he went from end-stage renal failure, right, and 4 days of dialysis to complete remission and no dialysis overnight. And I talk about that in my book. And I attribute that to the angels, all the IET, the angel Reiki, all the prayers, all the love. I mean, we were so surrounded in love. That's what I was going to say is, when a hard thing would happen and I would, put a text out and ask people to pray, either it was on Facebook or, my personal team of people. It was tremendous to actually feel the love and the prayers flowing in and surrounding us and affecting physical reality. So anyway, I wasn't planning on saying all this, but thank you, Kate. Thank you, Sarah. Glad you're here. Let me see who's on Instagram, if anybody. Not today. All right. I really need tissues. Wasn't planning on crying so much. All right. So what am I going to share next? So I'm so grateful for this, for my medicine and for this book. We've been journeying through this year. We've been journeying through every step of the 4 practices, right? Renew your devotion, practice number 1. Practice number 2, relax and cherish your body. Practice number 3, release and lead with your heart. And practice number 4, receive and trust your intuition. And we've been walking through every podcast has been a step. I added one extra one in there about your soul. And I'll kind of do that along the way. And we're where we are today is spiritual relaxation. And I'm realizing more and more, this is a big part of what I help my clients with, is stepping into this level of surrender that creates all of this beautiful space. Space for grace, space for trust, space for the benevolence. That's such an important part of this level of relaxation. So how do I help my clients, right? I take them through the relax, release, receive process in every single session. I actually take them through every single step of every practice in every session. I mean, it's such an honor. And I have watched these steps and the angels connected with the steps literally heal lifetimes of pain. Decades of pain, whether that pain was physical or emotional. And I'm also realizing I have such a passion for helping people with physical pain. But I also realize what a gift I have in helping people with emotional pain, and how I don't know why I resisted that part of my medicine and didn't realize. But when I went through those decades of my life and I shared my story in the masterclass, some of you were there. I realized how much of the pain that I had experienced was actually emotional pain. So remember that, and I think one of the most, every practice, every step, every practice is powerful, right? The 4 practices, every step in every practice is powerful. But relaxation, right, is the gateway to angelic pain relief. Relaxation is not sleep. Relaxation is not escape. Relaxation is not numbing or buffering. You got to clear that out. That's way old paradigm stuff, right? Relaxation, right, is an arrival into the here and now. And why is that so important? Because this is where your angels are, right here, right now, sending you love. So when you relax physically, right? What is that? Softening all the muscles from the bones, right? Making the body super comfortable. You energize and activate each layer of your energy body, and physical relaxation is the roots, right? So you're not only relaxing the body, but you're activating your roots. Emotional relaxation, one of my favorites, right? It means it's room for all of your feelings, all of your emotions, all of your parts. Every single part of you is loved by the divine, by your soul, and by your angels. That to me is relief. Let me know how that feels for you. It's also balancing the masculine and feminine energies in the body, and this activates our universe of parts. And it shows our parts who's really in charge. And I'm laughing because today, one of my cards, and I thought, oh my God, this is so spiritual relaxation, is God is in charge. I was like, that's totally spiritual relaxation at its finest. Love it, love it, love it. And then we go to mental relaxation. This is about calming the monkey mind. But as we talked about last time, it wasn't last week, but last class, last podcast, because we skipped a week. This is about the space between the thoughts, where all miracles, divine solutions, your creativity, um, you reside, right? Your intuition, your soul. And this activates the chakra temples. So mental relaxation activates the chakras, right? These beautiful temples where we can give and receive love, where we can receive, right? They're angel receivers, receive from the divine, the medicine that we need. And then we step into spiritual relaxation, which is what today is about. And again, this is about surrender, right? If you just take it in one word, it means surrender. And again, what are we surrendering, right? We're surrendering control. We're surrendering fear. We're surrendering resistance, and we're surrendering pain, right? And this takes courage, partly because in the surrender, we're looking at it. And that's the hard part, right? The hard part is looking at the wound, the trauma, the part that's in pain. Does that make sense? And so spiritual relaxation, right, is space for grace. It's trusting divine order. And this activates your aura, the electromagnetic field around your body. So each level of relaxation activates a level of your energy body. And that's where so much healing can happen. The healing of the pain, the healing of the wound, the healing of the trauma. And this is what I do for my clients, right? I take them through step by step by step through the relax, release, receive process, through the levels of relaxation, right? And when you relax your body, your mind, and your emotions, right? When you relax your humanity, you tap into the grace of your pure soul. They had me write that. And I was like, I love that, right? Because you're already pure, right? Your soul is pure. Your soul is whole. Your soul is content. Your soul is compassionate. What did my coach say? Your soul is never tired. Your soul is certain, right? Certain that you are loved and you are love. It's only our humanity, our ego, that doesn't understand that yet, doesn't remember that yet, if you will. Okay? Of course, once you've relaxed, you are open to both release and receive, right? So the relaxation is sort of the core, because once you get into that super relaxed state, it's easier to release, right? It's easier to receive. And those are happening simultaneously. I can't wait till we get to start talking about that in future podcasts this year. So let me see what else the angels are saying. So yeah, I really feel that I was being trained in spiritual relaxation because there was so much out with Dylan's accident and the traumatic car accident. There was so much out of our control, right? I mean, first of all, what his soul had set out to learn and experience and grow from, so much of the physical, components of, and the complications and all that stuff was just up to the doctors, right? The doctors, the nurses, to God. So I think we can get surrender kind of mixed up with thinking it's like giving up or throwing in the towel or burying your head in the sand, right? And also feeling helpless, right? Surrender is not helplessness. Surrender is not powerlessness, right? It's letting go of that fear. It's letting go of that pain to a higher power, right? It's letting go and letting the angels help. It's aligning. And I love this because I hadn't thought about this exactly like this. I'm not sure if it's in my book, but it's aligning your will, your human ego will, your human will with divine will. And here's the thing about that. This is what I love. This is what the angels taught me about spiritual relaxation, which I had never heard of. I'm not saying I coined it per se, but I had never heard of it before when I was creating my book. was that spiritual relaxation means the universe is benevolent, right? It means trust in divine order, right? That there's a divine plan unfolding for your highest good and your highest healing and everyone you love. Now, that's easy to say when everything's happy and joyful and it's a sunny day and, everything's going your way. But to trust divine order in the midst of chaos, in the midst of trauma, in the midst of pain, that's the path of the spiritual warrior. And that's spiritual relaxation. Does that resonate? Okay, so spiritual relaxation is space for grace, right? Love is space. This relaxation creates the space that lets the angels' love flow, that lets in divine intervention, that lets in sort of going with the flow. But ultimately, if you want to understand spiritual relaxation and practice it, right? It's understanding that source, universe, God is benevolent. So I hope that resonates. I wrote here, spiritual relaxation is the most advanced level of relaxation because it requires courage, trust, and vulnerability. Because instead of holding on to that fear, that pain, that control, that resistance to protect us, we're saying, I'm going to let it go. And I'm going to trust that something good is going to come from this. Something beautiful is going to come from this, as my coach says. So before we go into a little Raguel experience of spiritual relaxation, I want to share something that I feel confident about. I'm just listening to the angels for a minute. So one of the things I feel confident about is that your angels know how to heal your pain. They have the answer to your pain relief. The other thing I feel confident about is that I have the tools, the messages, the medicine, and the modalities to help you to access that answer. And you can access my prayer is that you can access the answer to your pain relief from my book. That you can open up my book and receive all the healing that you need. That's my prayer. That even this book just in your space on your shelf, sitting next to your bed, is bringing healing to you. That's my prayer. Okay? And of course, I want to see this prayer in action. I want to help you and walk you through the steps. So if you're ready to hire me as your angel coach, go to my website, jillkempnerhealing.com. Under free consult, there's a little questionnaire that you can fill out. And in that free consult, it's called the Angelic Pain Relief Consult. I am going to share what your angels are saying about your pain. I'm going to share what your pain is really about, right? You think it's this, but it's this, right? I'm going to share what the angelic perspective of your pain, what your angels are saying about your pain, right? This totally shifts the pain. Sometimes that's all the relief you need, right? And if you want to go on a journey with me, if you want to go deeper, right? In that, I'll share the details of my coaching program with you. 2 things that I do in that offering as well is I share this beautiful angel invitation with you. It's a powerful tool. And those of you who have been working with me know about this tool. You're using it already, right? And I help you start to implement that tool into your daily life to start inviting your angels in, right? Because what's the most important thing, right? We have to ask. ask. I'll also pull an archangel for you based on what we've talked about in that consult, based on the fuel that your angels are saying will heal your pain, and share some messages from that angel and how you can start to move forward from pain to peace. So I would love to have that conversation with you. The consult is free. It's over Zoom. And I have several openings in April. So I'd love to connect with you in that way. Angels, remind me to put the questionnaire for it in the comments. Thank you so much. All right, beautiful Earth Angels. Let's welcome Raguel. And I swear I could just do like a whole class on every single archangel, right? And it's the sort of that, it's like a merging of first book and second book. So Raguel is the angel of, as we've talked about, divine order, the angel of harmony and relationship harmony. He's the angel of justice and fairness. He's the angel of clairsentience. He's the angel of divine order. So when we're feeling, right, he's the angel of spiritual relaxation. You know, when you're feeling like, you know, very controlling, if you have a legal issue, right? If you're having a relationship, I mean, he's really the angel for so much healing because he's the relationship harmony angel that can help us to have inner harmony. So then we have the outer harmony with the world around us, right? Such a power. And his color is sky blue. So I thought I'd wear his color today. So I have this sweater on. Plus, it's also still like winter temperatures, even though it's April here in the Midwest, Chicagoland. All right, so let's get a little spiritual relaxation on. Closing your eyes, taking a few cleansing breaths. And just welcoming. There was so much I shared. So just letting yourself integrate and release as you're guided. And whether you are here live, whether you are listening to the replay, we are all here together. So letting yourself tap into the power of the group, the love of the group, of all the earth angels in the world is what I'm hearing. All the earth angels in the universe. Feeling your breath anchoring you into the now, into your body, into your heart, and onto the earth. As you anchor into the earth, allowing your body to relax physically, rooting down, seeing your personal energetic roots like roots of a tree flowing through your legs, through the soles of your feet, deep, deep, deep into the earth, through the layers of the earth, through the crystals to the heart of Mother Earth. I'm feeling so grounded, so present. And as we bring our hands to our hearts, the gateway of our angel's love, we open our hearts in gratitude. I'm devoted to receiving love and spiritual relaxation from my angels. Oh, and just letting yourself receive, your heart opening to your angel's love, your mind aligning with divine mind, your increased receptivity you can relax your hands, breathe, and welcome emotional relaxation, knowing that there is room for all of you. Every feeling, every part, every emotion. Room for the sad part, the angry part, the resistant part, the controlling part. Room for the part that's in pain. Room for the part that has trauma or PTSD. Just know as you make this space within you, right, more of your soul's love and light can come into your physical body. Breathe and invite mental relaxation as we awaken the chakra temples. So breathe from the roots up the spine, through the chakras to the crown. And exhale from the crown down, like a French press, squeezing out all the pain, all the resistance, all the control. Open the mind. Inhale, roots up the spine, through the chakras to the crown. And exhale slowly from the crown down, like a French press. Let it all go. All the pain, all the trauma. Letting the mind open to the chakra temples, open to divine mind, open to miracle mindedness. And we welcome your beautiful angels here, the angels and guardian angels, allies, beloved ancestors. We especially welcome the archangels of relax and cherish your body, Archangel Gabriel, Archangel Haniel, Archangel Raphael. And of course, beautiful Archangel Raguel as we step in to the portal of spiritual relaxation. So here's what I'm seeing. Visualize yourself in your heart temple, the holy haven, on the center of infinity. So the infinity symbol is a sideways 8, and you're standing on the center of it, which is actually the space outside of time. And we welcome Raguel here. Thank you, Archangel Raguel, for bringing each of us the medicine of spiritual relaxation, divine order, and harmony. We invite Archangel Raguel's sky blue light to infuse each layer of our aura with surrender, grace, and harmony. So you can let go of pain and trust the benevolence of the angels. We allow the angels of spiritual relaxation, divine order, and harmony to infuse our auras with their healing light, allowing each of us to relax into the arms of our angels. So see yourself as a beautiful, shining light, a soul, a loving soul. See your loving soul in your heart temple on the center of infinity. And then you're going to visualize that pain, whether it's nervousness or anger or sadness or trauma, whatever it is, just choose one. Choose one for now, because I want, what the angels are saying is they want you to visualize it as a symbol. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to release some PTSD. That's what I want to release around that whole experience with the ICU and my brother's accident and all of that. In particular, I'm going to visualize that as a symbol. And then we're going to hand it to beautiful Raguel. And Raguel is there as this sky blue light. His arms open, his hands open, his heart open to receive this wound, this trauma, this pain, whatever it is. And just being willing to release it. I'm willing to release this PTSD, this pain, this fear. And there you go, into the arms of the angels, into the arms of Raguel. Perfect. Welcoming space for grace. Welcoming the benevolence of the universe. Welcoming this trust that you are exactly where you're meant to be. So let your body twitch or shudder. There you go. Let your emotions rise and fall as you release. You may also feel like you're in a deep state of stillness. It's all perfect, however it unfolds. And it's okay if you don't see, feel, or hear anything right now. You will. And then we ask the power question, quantum question. What lesson am I learning from this pain? As part of the integration, as part of the deepest healing, what did I learn from this PTSD? What did I learn from this fear? There you go. What did I learn from this pain, this wound? What was the deeper meaning? What was the lesson? I'm willing to see it and integrate it and learn it and turn it into my medicine, turn it into my wisdom. Thank you, angels, for transforming each of our wounds into our wisdom. into our gifts, into our medicine. So Raguel steps in really, really, really close and places one hand. So for me, I kind of feel like it's my heart and my throat. I know I was crying, but my throat is kind of clearing right now. So I feel like he put one hand at my heart and throat and one hand at my third eye, but I feel like it's different for all of you. So tune into Raguel coming in and putting his angel Reiki symbol, which is the second angel Reiki symbol for mental and emotional healing, mental and emotional balance and harmony, Seheke. So welcome the medicine of Seheke into your body, into your energy body, into your parts. And then Raguel steps behind you and reminds you of your wings. Part of spiritual relaxation, which I'm just realizing as I'm talking right now, is that we get our wings back. And we soar into the benevolence, the compassion, the kindness into the heart of source, into the divine order. And we bring that grace, that benevolence, that compassion to all of our parts and all of humanity. Ooh. And so anything else, angels, anything else? And the angel's saying to trust your intuition and that you may not get the answer right now to why you experience this pain, fear, wound, trauma, but you will in a dream, when you're walking, when you're taking a shower, doing the dishes, walking the dog. It's all perfect. So that's part of the trust that we're building. So Archangel Michael coming in, recalibrating your energy body to your normal daily activities on all 4 levels of your being, physically, emotionally, mentally, spiritually. Woo! In all directions of time for your highest good and highest healing. And we always dedicate the healing that you receive today to all our relations in all directions of time. See, feel, hear, know, and trust. Your angels are bowing to you with love, with devotion, and with compassion as we seal our inner journey, this beautiful class with a namaste. Namaste, my friends. Okay. Whew, that was awesome. Beautiful meditation. I love spiritual relaxation. Don't you? It feels so good. So let me know if you want to share vulnerably what you released, what you received, saw, felt. You can put it in the chat. You can put it in the comments later. I want to pull a card for you. And then again, so I just put all my podcasts up for the month. We're going to be moving now into the practice, release, and lead with your heart. And I love the titles that came through. I love the medicine that came through for each of those. I'm excited to share those teachings and what authentically comes through for that. So how is it that you're trusting divine order, and spiritual relaxation this week? Guardian angel message. I love this so much. Higher purpose. Your inner light is a spark of galactic consciousness, a portal to higher dimensions. This goes with our reading yesterday. You are more than a physical being. You are a cosmic soul with purpose. So understand that your every pain, every fear, every wound, every trauma has a higher purpose. This is what people look at me and they say, how do you do what you do? And how did you get through what you went through? You know, your father being murdered, your mother and brother dying young, his traumatic car accident, and all the other things. Those are only some of the things I went through. And I said, because I kept believing there was a higher purpose to the pain, right? Your pain is a portal. Your pain has a purpose. And once you ask for the divine intervention, right, whether it's from the Venusian Galactic Council that we talked about yesterday, the Arcturian beings, or the angelic frequency, you will transform that pain into peace. I guarantee you. And if you need help with that, hire me as your coach, right? Study with me, right? I have 2 energy medicine trainings that I offer every year. And you can find all that on my website. I'm adding the IET in soon. And tonight I will be in Riverwood. So if you're local and you want to come to a beautiful event, a book talk, there'll be 3 authors sharing their medicine, their wisdom about divine feminine empowerment and soul empowerment and angelic empowerment. I'd love for you to join us. It's all that information is on my Facebook page. So I love you all. I hope you have an amazing rest of your day and week. Thank you for all the beautiful downloads. Thank you for your love and support. I will see you soon. I do send this replay in my newsletter. So if you're not in my newsletter, you can do that on my website, jokempnerhealing.com. And yeah, we'll connect again next week for whatever podcast 112 is. And if this resonated with you, feel free to like it, share it. And I'll see you soon. All right. All my love. Bye, everyone. Thanks, Kate and Sarah and Lauren and everyone who joined us. Hey, there's Pete. Namaste.